Left off in part one, where I'd been sent some instrumental music tracks to write songs to and sing to, which I began to do. At one point, the musician rang me and said that the more recent tracks he'd sent me had some background noises on them that had got in from outside and off the TV and just people in the house and stuff, and that he liked these background noises and he was thinking of putting more in, and he told me to have a listen and see what I thought. These weren't avant-garde tracks, so I dismissed the idea. However, when I was it came to my attention that these background noises, one of them on one of the tracks was a woman screaming as if she was being tortured, she was in agony. So if that had got on, it must have got on off a horror film or something, you know? But just that, nothing else, no talking or anything, just that, this woman screaming in agony. So that was on one of them. And then later, when it became aware that my dead cat's name was shouted in the background of one of these tracks, I've been sent 12. Upon closer examination, not only was my dead cat's name said, but if you listen very carefully, the woman that I heard referred to as Lil, her voice was giving the musician, using his name and giving him instructions, telling him what to do, telling him how to play, and also telling him to flatter me and using his name. And there was another voice in the backings of these recordings, which was a woman with an Irish accent, saying exactly the same comments that had been used to gangstalk me from the previous address on which I'd reported to the police. So they'd sent me these things in the backings of tracks. However, they weren't immediately apparent. You had to listen very carefully. Some of the comments were things that I had said upon finding my cat dead, as well as my dead cat's name. Why would anyone do that? Why would they hide them in the backings of the tracks? These tracks were all in 120 beats per minute, and that is the most effective tempo for hypnosis. The voices were very quiet, below the level of instrumentation, and the things they were saying could be traumatic. There was an odd flanging effect in many of the tracks, which went from left to right, like an internal pendulum of sound going from your left ear to your right ear. When you listen to it on headphones especially, it was evident from your left to your right, to your left to your right. So you had that going on. You had the talking quietly in the background, and you had the 120 beats per minute pace. So there was obviously subliminal messages. Why would you do that? You know, why would you do that? If you've looked into subliminals, which I did do, because I couldn't understand why anyone would do that, you know? It would be with the words and phrases used from a traumatic event, that sort of like trying to get me to relive it, maybe the trigger words or something, but there was definitely attempts at hypnosis. One of the later tracks was very obvious, and it was completely left to right. The whole, not just one or two effects, but the whole track left to right, left ear to the right ear, left ear, with the woman's voice in the middle, the Lil, as I believe she's called. And she said, you see the bruises, you see the marks, you see the scars, but I didn't do it. So why would you want to send that as a subliminal hypnosis message to somebody? Very odd. I've been working on these tracks unfortunately for about a year, because I just took them for what they were, you know, being not aware how evil and twisted people can be. And yeah, so that was that. What else can I say? I'd like to say that it ended there when I found out that this was going on. It was very sinister. But as I said, in my new property, they began turning up in the evenings, shouting things, which I thought was just to harass me. Some of the things were said before I found out about the stuff in the backs of these tracks. And the stuff that the woman called Lil said it didn't make sense at the time. She said, we'll have her singing it. And the Irishman said, always on back-ins. Over this she'll sing. In the mix, a sample. Didn't make any sense until later, of course, when I discovered that there was things on the back-ins. And also the little woman, I'm going to sing in that room. Those are my songs. Later on, when I discovered there were things in back-ins, and I was singing over them, it made sense. Okay, I'll leave that there for now. Thank you for listening. God bless.